What's up, guys? iBestis here, and I got a deck. This is a red deck wins deck. I don't know if I really even should do this. People probably don't even want to watch this shit because it is brutal. Red deck wins is just ridiculous, and the meta has really slowed down. So I figure I'm gonna speed it up. I'm gonna play some red deck wins. So with that, without further ado, I'm gonna do the deck tech. Once again, this deck was created by Monk over on the NGA forums. He built this deck before the last couple card packs, and he built it actually before this guy came out. But he made a recommendation of cutting something else for him, and I did exactly what his recommendation was. And this deck is beautiful. Like, it's just ridiculous, and let's just see why. First of all, most of your whole deck can be played on turn 1 or 2, with the exception of 3 cards, 2 of which are Rabble Masters, and the third one being the Act of Treason. Now, Act of Treason is one of those cards that I cannot support as like any more than one of. It's just too gimmicky outside of that. Usually you can use it if it's a one of, but if you're running more than that, oftentimes there's going to be times where it's just sitting around, man. It's just not a very good card to run in multiples, in my personal opinion. But without further ado, let's check it out. We got the full set of Coordinated Assault. It's an instant speed, 1 mountain cost, up to 2 target creatures. Each get +1/+0 and gain first strike until end of turn. We got 4 Goblin Arsonist, 1 mountain, 1/1. When it dies, you may have it deal 1 damage to target creature or player. We have 4 Foundry Steep Denizen. Cost 1 mountain for a 1/1. Whenever another red creature enters the battlefield under your control, Founder Street Denizen gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Obviously, I don't think I really need to explain it, but I will anyways. Whenever you play a red creature, it gets stronger. And oftentimes, you'll find you'll be able to make it stronger more than once because all of your creatures are so goddamn cheap. Satire Hoplite. Whoops, we skipped one. Goblin Bushwhacker. I can't even talk today. What the fuck? 1 mountain, 1/1. It's got a kicker. When Goblin Bushwhacker enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. What the fuck? This guy wins games. He's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. His ability is fucking awesome, and he deserves his spot here. Satire Hoplite. 1 for a 1/1. Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Satire Hoplite, put a +1/+1 counter on Satire Hoplite. That is fucking phenomenal ability and is phenomenally good in a red deck wins deck. It goes really well with Coordinated Assault and Furor of the Bitten. I don't think there's anything else in this deck, no. Yeah, so those are the cards it goes with. It combos with Coordinated Assault. It coordinates with Fur of the Bitten, if I'm saying that right. Who knows? Probably not, because I can't fucking talk today. Let's look at Fur of the Bitten. It's a 1 mountain cost enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has attack each turn if able. So yeah, I mean, when you play that shit on a Hoplite, it becomes a 4/4. On turn 2, that is beautiful. And, or you got some other trickeries that you could do, like on turn 2, you could have him out there. You do that there. And shit, just God forbid if you have 2 of those in your hand. Oh man, that's a lot of damage. But yeah, or you could theoretically Coordinated Assault if needed. It's just really, really good here in the red deck wins. Shock, 1 cost, 1 mountain, instant. Shock deals 2 damage to target creature or player. You can get rid of those creatures off the board that you need to, or you can shoot it to the face for the game-winning blow. Hellspark Elemental, that was also a 4 of, obviously. In this particular deck for sure. Deck. 1 mountain, 1 colorless, 3/1 creature, trample haste at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Hellspark Elemental. So he comes out, he attacks immediately, and he dies right afterwards. But you can unearth him for an extra attack. Unearth lets him come back from your graveyard and attack again. He comes back with haste. And then he goes away from the game for good. But yeah, he's really, really great in this deck. Goblin Shortcutter. 1 mountain, 1 colorless, 2/1. When Goblin Shortcutter enters the battlefield, target creature cannot block this turn. So if they got somebody over there and you can't take it off the table, or you got to take off another one and you need to make the other guy unblock, or make the other guy not able to block, this guy's phenomenal for that purpose. He's great for weeding in some extra damage, or potentially game-winning damage. We got 4 Krenko's Command. Pretty much speaks for itself. 1 mountain, 1 colorless. I think everybody knows what this does. Put 2/1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. You can play that on turn 2. You could potentially put a Furor on it later. You could potentially Coordinated Assault the 2 of them. But yeah, I mean, it's just pretty straightforward card. It goes really well with Goblin Rabble Master, which is the next one. 1 mountain, 2 colorless, 2/2. I don't think he needs any introduction, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. Other goblin creatures you control attack each turn if able. You want to be attacking each turn anyway, so it's not a big deal. At the beginning of each combat, or at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 red goblin creature token with the haste onto the battlefield. When Goblin Rabble Master attacks, it gets +1/+0 until the end of turn for each other attacking goblin. So that is beastie. This guy takes games away by himself in many decks. So yeah, definitely an auto-include in Red Deck Wins. He pretty much makes Red Deck Wins. Active Treason. 3 cost, 1 mountain, 2 colorless, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. So you can take away their blocker and attack with it too. I wouldn't really advocate more than 1. This deck is really solid. Monk did a really great job on this deck. It's brutal. Everybody's probably going to hate that I'm putting it on YouTube, but luckily my channel isn't that big right now. So hopefully it's not going to flood with a shit ton of Red Deck Wins until the next game comes out. But fuck it. I'm going to speed up the meta a little bit, because fuck all these slow-ass decks, these janky-ass decks. Man, like, people winning against my end of days with these janky decks, I'm infuriated. Red Deck Wins time.